whole. Okay. Welcome everybody to another episode of the Faith Speaks podcast. I am your host, Faith Haygood. Listen, this is what I want you to do. I want you to tag somebody, share it. Even if you don't like me, it's okay. Just share it with somebody. Tell them Faith Speaks is live, and we are live in the studio with my special guest, Larry Brown Jr.
Hey, what's happening?
We've been chopping it up real quick and talking about, what are we talking about? Some of everything, right?
Yeah.
Before we get started, talking about our
church background,
upbringing, and your father was a pastor.
Mm-hmm. Still at it.
Still at it?
Yep.
Well, my father was. He retired, and yeah, may he rest in peace. But they say you could tell church kids.
Man, tell us from a mile away.
Tell them from a mile away the little antics, and I kind of like that because I felt like I have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Because some lingos only church kids get.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you get the world slang on top of that. You cold-blooded. You can't help who you are. You can't help what you know.
Oh yeah.
Because that's just the foundation that was laid.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, guys, I decided. I know I've had women on my podcast before, and we are in the season of talking about being made whole. I wrote a song about it. Want to hear it? Go to Amazon, type in Faith Haygood. Go to Apple Music, type in Faith Haygood. The name of the song is called Be Made Whole. And then also I wrote a book called Will You Be Made Whole? A Journey from Brokenness to Freedom. And I am so excited about my book. I wrote it in 2017, but every day I see myself unveiling and being made whole just how God intended me to be. So, yes. So I said, you know what? This time, my friend said, are you going to have any males on the show? I said, I already got one book. And so today we have Larry Brown Jr. And let me just rip off his bio right quick, and then we're going to get into this show. Okay. So Larry Brown Jr. is an artist, composer, producer, educator, entrepreneur, leader in the field of music, business, and education, and in his community. He is also, he grew up in Venice, Illinois. I thought Venice was only in Italy.
It's more 4 hours from here.
What? Well, check it out. At the age of 5 years old, he began plucking the strings at on his father's guitar, but yet he managed to find his own venture and passion in pursuit of happiness and dreams. Give it up for my special guest, Mr. Larry Brown.
What's up, y'all?
Get on down.
What's up? What's up, faith community? What you call your people? The faith community?
I never thought of it. I guess that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's the faith community. And Larry, he called the name, so that's what it's going to be. Thank you, faith community. That sounds so religious.
We can't help it.
We can't help it. So I didn't even read all of the great attributes and things that you have done, but you have played in St. Louis Festival, New York Music Festival, Jazz Festival, Hyde Park. I've seen you all over the city at the Jazz Showcase.
For sure.
My boy gets down. Do you hear me? Tell us a little bit about how, I just only read the bio in short, but how music has changed your life, and when did you come to know that this is what you're supposed to be doing?
Oh man, music hasn't really changed it because it's just been such a part of it. Music has been the fabric of my life since the beginning.
Wow.
Not just my father, my whole family is musical. Both sides of my family.
Oh wow.
I have cousins who play guitar and drums and bass, and a lot of singers, of course, and of course, watching my dad. My dad, he was a quartet singer.
Oh wow!
And my whole family, my grandfather had his own quartet as well.
What?
And that's kind of how I grew up and what I kind of grew up around. And also, just growing up in church, in that age of new gospel music, where Kirk Franklin was just about to get it cracking,
stomping and stuff.
Yeah, and so, man, I feel like I just came up at a perfect time in music. So much great things were happening right at that '90s peak. So it's just been a part of my life so as far as long as I can remember.
So music did not find you. You didn't find music. Music found you.
Yes.
So it's embedded in your DNA.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And as a father, you have two amazing sons.
Two sons.
What's their names?
Langston and Larry III.
Langston and Larry. Hey, Larry Singer, if you watching, hey, he be on all your lives.
He do. He love me, boy.
I know that's right. He proud of his son. That's so important to have support from family and friends and those that you love, because hey, you never know, and not that you're looking forward to it, but you never know what life is going to be like in the future. So love on those loved ones while you still have them in your present. So in this season, we're talking about being made whole, and I entitled this, "What Makes a Man Whole?" Now, we did a pre-interview, and I did low-key record it. I like to have my information back straight. But I said, he was just going in. I said, listen, I should upload this for the show. But tell us the difficulties that you feel like that you are facing as a male in this world today.
Difficulties that I'm facing.
And you can speak from your brothers, men that you know.
Well, I think the journey is there's so many things that happen along the way. The self-discovery piece of it. I think that a lot of my kind of peer group and circle group, we're in the building stage. And it's about, the difficult thing is in building and being great, it requires a lot of sacrifice sometimes. It also, requires different things in different seasons. Sometimes it requires you to get by yourself.
Yes. Listen.
And navigate. And so, building kingdoms, small K, here on the earth, whether it be a institution, a nonprofit, a school program, a music venture, it's about, I would say, the balance of it all, especially if you got a family. That can be difficult for some people, because a lot of times we've been taught, you've got to go just all in, to just, and I've heard great people say that actually. But I think I've kind of learned, even through discovery, that it can be a both and. You don't have to give up, or it doesn't have to be one of, I'm just going to be solely on my career and nothing and nobody else. Because for me, what I've discovered is that the everything and everybody else can operate in concert with how you feel. It actually makes you better, so what I try to do, and this can be difficult, is finding time just for myself. So I can be full, so I can pour out.
So you can pour out.
Because a lot of us, especially us men, we can show up on E sometimes.
Because you've depleted yourself with work and trying to be a provider, protector, serving. You
Absolutely.
win a bunch of hats.
Absolutely.
Y'all should have seen the hat he came in here with.
It's snowing outside. Today was our first snow, and it was real this morning. I've been out all day. I went to the dentist this morning.
Okay.
But man, it was real. So I said, look, I can't play with it.
Exactly. Now you talked about the fact of being alone.
Mm-hmm.
And most people don't know what that looks like, in a sense of we always feel like we have to have somebody around. Friendships, they're all good. Family, great. But when you get serious about yourself and your future and unraveling things of the past, being alone is a huge sacrifice.
Yeah.
Because you can't kick it no more like you used to.
Oh, yeah.
What are some of the things that you did to help yourself in look at me being lost of words. What did your alone time look like?
My alone time really looks like some meditation.
Mm-hmm.
I like, this is just being a PK. I love listening to good sermons.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to, from a spiritual standpoint, fill up on the word. Sometimes it's practice because, once you get seasoned as musicians, those 6 hours that you had to practice every day, you just don't have that no more.
Yeah.
So, it's more meditative than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tear it out, because, it may not be able to happen every day, but, I have like a 3-hour tier. I got a 2-hour tier and a 1-hour tier of, okay, if I've got an hour for me, what would I do in that 1 hour?
Come on.
And some days it might, for a period, it might just be I only got 1 hour every couple of days.
Right.
Or, I might look up and, oh man, I don't have to perform this Saturday.
Right.
So, man, like
what those are the
days. Yeah, because it doesn't happen that much. Mm-hmm. And so it's like you almost don't know what to do because like, man, I haven't had a evening.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do on a Saturday evening? Like, and so but it's more so, about being reflective, because that's the main thing why people don't like to be alone, because you gotta be alone with your thoughts.
You gotta be alone with your thoughts.
And
that could be difficult when you have not processed trauma, drama, hurt, and past. And so, but it's a good thing though.
Oh yeah.
It's a good thing. And I think if most people spend time alone with themselves, not being an introvert, but really, because you could be an introvert and then your head is still filled with all the pain and abuse and things that you've gone through. So you need community.
Yes.
You need community. You need therapy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You need some help. But even those that, people say fake your personality, you're so outgoing, you're so bubbly. But there are moments, and I have had moments, and I continue to have moments where I have accountability.
Mm-hmm.
I also take the time out for me, as you stated.
Yeah.
And as a man, like you said, the pressure is on you all to show up, to do this. Tell us about a difficult time you've had in your life where you wasn't able to show up.
See, that's such an interesting question, because I think because we were talking about earlier about us being PKs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
We've been trained to show up in difficult times.
Oh, see.
And so I don't have a problem showing up when it's difficult.
Y'all hear that? Larry said he don't got a problem showing up during difficult times. Mm-hmm.
But that's due to so much social conditioning, right? I'm was raised in a generation where you just went on, like you just did what you had to do. If you had a role or you had a responsibility, whether it was at a job or at a church, you went on ahead and you got it done.
You did it.
you know, and so and you can deal with your feelings when you get home
later.
you know, and so for me, the honest truth is that's I'm gonna show up
Mm-hmm.
when it's easy. I'm gonna show up when it's not my best day, and try to do it with a smile. But I've been conditioned that way through years of just being, I'm gonna say, in some ways, in a leadership type of position. You know, being looked on to perform a task.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's part of our
makeup.
Yeah, for sure.
Even when we don't want to be, because we were in church Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's 8 days. Did I count Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? And then at one point, we lived in the church.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah. My bed was the pulpit. That's why I'm a born leader.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, it was difficult. And so you said, but I'm sure there has been moments where you didn't want to be bothered. Because you said you would go home and you would chop them fillers up by yourself because you had somebody told you to do that. But what's the time that you was like, man, forget this. Forget everybody. Forget everything. It ain't got to be related with church or anything like that. Larry over it. Thank you.
You know, Faith.
Mm-hmm.
Honest to goodness, I can't remember a time where I did not show up, even despite how I was feeling. Like nobody has received a call from me and said that, yo, man, I'm just not feeling this today. I need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
No thing, no institution, no.
Wow.
So probably because I don't know if this is a skill. I don't know how you. I'm proficient at compartmentalizing. You know.
I think,
that might be, and that might. We talk about men and how we navigate. I believe I'm probably not the only person who's like that.
Yeah.
Where, you know, a lot of times, you know, we don't get that opportunity, you know, because so many people are, I don't want to say dependent, but, you know, counting on you.
Yeah.
You know, and I think how I've always shown up as a leader is making sure I always pride myself on people never wondering if I will be there for them or not, or being where I'm supposed to be. That's church, that's wherever. Like, I'm gonna be where I'm supposed to be.
You're gonna be where you're supposed to be. And I think,
yo, this couch, man, this got me what you got on this couch, man? I'm only coming here to talk about it.
You done got relaxed.
Hey, y'all be careful on this couch.
This couch is anointed, okay, for this type of topic. And so in our pre-interview, we talked about 3 pillars of a man. Let's get on these 3 pillars, because I think it's important that every man lives by their own mantra. But I think that at the end of the day, it's all the same playing field.
Yeah, and it may be more than that.
Of course.
We were, for you all listening, we were talking about this idea of masculinity. And how a lot of times the discussion that's being had, when I look at it in a media context, I never see men in the conversation.
True. True.
And I was very fortunate, you know. I had my father, but I was raised up around a lot of men.
That's a blessing.
And it was all types from everybody wasn't the same. And so, you know, as I examine all their lives, there's a lot of takeaways. and what I believe is pillars, as I called them the other day, that make up masculinity for me. So it is, one is man to God, man to women, and that's encompassing of mother, sisters, ones he cares about, as well as romantic daughters. Okay. Man as mentor, man as brother / friend. Let me see what else I have. And man to his community.
Yeah.
I think that if you can show up in those 5 arenas,
wow,
a certain way, I think if you can master showing up in a way that for me it, resembles God, you can master masculinity.
Wow. If you can, listen. What's the song? I want to be your man. This man said, if you can show up, first is man to God.
Yes,
you have to be.
one.
That's number one. You have to be submitted to God. Then man to mother, daughter, sister.
Yes.
The opposite sex. Then man to brother. Man to community.
Yes.
That's everything encompasses your work, school, where you fellowship at. All of those things have to be is some of the pillars that it starts with.
Yes, and man to mentee.
Man to mentee. See, that's the problem. Some men don't like nobody to tell them nothing. You have to have somebody that can tell you something, or you be able to be a role model.
Absolutely.
And share in someone else's growth and development.
Yes.
Who are some of the mentors in your life?
Whew. I've been fortunate. I've had a lot of mentors. One that just comes straight to mind is this man by the name of Ron Carter. You probably seen him or heard me mention him another time. So I met him as his grad assistant at NIU.
Okay.
And we just connected. He became like an uncle to me, a friend. He passed this year, actually.
Oh, my condolences.
Thank you. He pushed me. He pushed me like only my own family, my mother and father, have pushed me.
Wow.
He accepted nothing less than excellence from me. He demanded it, and he made me demand it of myself. He showed me. He showed me even things that I didn't know was inside of myself.
Wow. And
that's the true sign of a mentor.
Yeah.
Is they see what you don't see yet.
That's so powerful.
And I've had many. Dr. Leroy Mitchell from Indiana, Illinois. James Shannon and all the men that I grew up with. I got this picture at home. It's me, my little brother, and another friend of mine's kids at church. And there was all the men in this picture with us. That was like deacons, trustees.
Wow.
All this type of stuff that, made a difference. Because I don't know if I told you this, but, there's a lot of young men that don't have that. They don't. They just don't have it. And so I was very fortunate. But yeah, I had some great ones. And I still do. You need to have mentors and coaches at all times. And once you get over 25, you need to be mentoring at all times. You need to have a hand up to somebody pulling you up and a hand down to pull them up behind you.
Look at that.
It needs to go both ways.
It needs to go both ways.
Yeah.
And so with our young men, I have a son. He's 13. And I love the fact that my pastor reaches out to him, or, speaking to his life. And I know that he prays for him as well. But then he also has his father and other men in his life that I trust.
Yes.
Because you can't have everybody speaking into your life or your children's life. You have to be able to say, you know what, if I'm not around, I give you permission to discipline my child in the sense, and be okay with it, because you know that they're not going to harm your child. And so we see also you had the great opportunity of having amazing men in your life, and you still do. Why do you think that most men have lacked in the area of being leaders?
Why most men have lacked in the area being leaders. So many factors. One would be percentage of it is exposure. Haven't been around real leader.
Yeah.
And some of it could be what's happened to the leaders that they've been around. Some have some unceremonious endings or situations they may find them in.
Okay.
And it can deter. And then the other thing is that you got so many things pulling.
Yeah.
On young guys. Not just even teens, but even in your early 20s. So the fortunate thing is, and why the prayer part is so important.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what I was getting when I found a lot of these guys, or they found me. But I didn't know they were like that. Just like when I interface with young guys, like they got no idea that I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
See,
right?
That's important.
And I'm going to demand from you. I'm going to demand from you. Okay. And so you just never know. So being able to, it's so important. And I don't know if whoever the parents are that's listening to me, you got to expose your kids to people that you feel led that they have something to offer them.
Exactly.
I'm very selective, and maybe you're this way too now, on who I listen to.
Yes.
As you get older.
It's so true.
I'm very selective. Like, I can listen to a lot from a lot of people, but not anybody can tell me everything.
No.
No. And so what I mean by that is when I'm looking at for mentorship, when I'm looking at you as an adult over 25 years old, I'm like, I'm trying to see this person is or has done something that I'm trying to achieve too.
Right.
Right. And then let that be your thing. So let's say if your son is into basketball, right? And if he has an opportunity to be mentored by, former D1 athlete or something, that's somebody he should be pushed into. Yeah. Right?
Definitely.
And here's the other thing I want to free some people up.
Come on, free them.
They don't got to be perfect.
Yes.
Because I'm going to tell you this. I don't know no perfect men.
No.
You know any?
No, never met them.
And so, you want to make sure they ain't, got nobody, the police after them. But once you get past some of the basics,
right.
Nobody's going to be perfect. And you got to also entertain that, because a lot of times cats, what they need the most mentorship is how to move after a mistake.
That's so good.
What happens when I get kicked out of school for financial aid?
Right.
What do I do? Or my grades, or I made a mistake, or
I got caught smoking weed.
All those different things. Like, you got to understand, you got to hear from somebody that may have maneuvered through that and, and successful in wherever they are now. Not just listen to me. This is how I am.
Right.
Now, Chad, y'all can decide. I get passionate when I'm talking to folks. Like, I want them to just do this. Right. It might be the Capricorn in me, right? But sometimes it's just the assertiveness of it. Like, if I'm telling you if I'm telling you as a mentor or even as a friend, man, like, yeah, you listen, you make your own decision.
Right.
But if it's getting tight, I don't want to hear about what you think.
I think
do this. Okay.
Is that all men? Because I have a friend, he like, listen, this is what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Now don't come to me when it goes left or right. You know, it can't go right, it go left.
Yeah.
Because I already told you.
Yes.
And I think to have that type of mentality is because you have experienced it. And so you care about the person and whom you're sharing the information with. So you don't want them to go left or right. Absolutely. Now, a couple of my friends wanted me to ask this question.
Come on, friends. What's up?
What is your marital status?
I'm not married.
Not married. Okay. But you're single.
I'm single.
Single. So can't nobody claim you, or you see you drunk that water real fast.
I do date.
Okay.
But no, I'm not married yet.
Not married yet. So you have 2 sons.
2 sons.
And when I met Larry, he didn't have no children.
Man.
You didn't have muscles either.
Dang, I was skinny.
We met through a mutual friend, and we had the same circle of friends. Yeah, musicians and public speakers and singers and the whole 9. And so I've been knowing Larry for a while.
She's the A-lister, you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, I come up in the show. Listen, I get good seats and everything. Okay, I'm right there.
Yeah, you're right there.
I'm right there in the front. But so being a single man, do you find it difficult on the dating scene to like locate her? I like how he think about everything before he talk.
No, I don't think it's difficult. I don't think it's difficult. I think it's more so difficult on, and I'm going to speak for men in general, not just myself. But
I do want to know your thoughts too.
I don't think it's okay. I'll start with me. I don't think it's difficult. The more you hone in on what you're looking for, you know.
Wow, that's so good.
With that being said, a lot of guys, you know, and apparently this has got nothing to do with age, they still don't quite know.
Yeah.
You know, the other big thing, and I'm gonna help some ladies tonight.
Help us.
Man, it's options. It's the options of it all, and it's the standard of it all.
Yeah.
I was talking to some friends of mine recently. And I was thinking about this. So I'm gonna take my dad, for example. I don't know if he's still on here or not. When my dad was in his heyday, my dad was an iron worker.
Okay.
For his vocation for 40 plus years. You know, getting up early, dealing with some iron every day.
Wow.
So
tough job.
Between him leaving the house and probably going to a gas station, going to work, maybe stopping at another store to come home or not, he probably saw, I'm gonna say maybe 4 women in his average day, just in Quick Trip,
right?
Stuff, right. You know, maybe might have just been one on the job. Do you know how many women the average guy sees on a daily basis?
Over 30, because y'all visual.
30,
100.
I'm gonna say 100.
What?
Just social media alone, like it's hundreds. And so, not just that, guys are seeing these hundreds at their absolute apex, right? They fresh filters, they fresh off vacations, fresh out the gym,
right?
like it's the biggest low. Like it's like you seen them at their absolute. You ain't seen them in Quick Trip.
No. Right, you
So-
seen them filtered out.
And so I think that's part of what is maybe challenging for folks who are dating now is we just see too much. And it's probably the same thing for ladies too. I don't want to speak for y'all, but just see too much.
Yeah.
Not just that.
Mm-hmm.
You can contact them. You can go right into the phone. Like
You can DM them, follow them.
our parents had, it just wasn't even a possibility.
Right.
The access.
Yeah.
And so, man, it's the accessibility of it all
Mm-hmm.
that can make it challenging, and how men operate in their mind.
It's like Old Country Buffet. It's like Old Country Buffet.
Right. A lot of cats think this is actually an option.
Mm-hmm.
You know, man, every time she posts, she look nice.
Right.
Man, what about when she ain't posting though? You know?
How does she look then? Can she hold a conversation?
Right.
What she got going on?
And you just opposing that to, what you got at home, and they got their little thing on while they frying some chicken up for you. But I don't know. It's to me, I believe it's accessibility.
Yeah.
Cats see too much, they're exposed to too much, and they think they got a shot at it. That's
it.
That's it.
So y'all think y'all the grand poobah of
I would at certain points. Now, the other thing, ladies, I love you. Okay, I'm just telling you now. The other thing is just standard. Some have them, some don't.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys, they don't have to approach women anymore.
It's true.
And there's something to be said for that dynamic too.
Right.
Is it's not about options, but it's the accessibility, and also because of there's no real hunt and real chase, which is a man's natural nature.
Right.
The fact that I ain't going to a club and I don't have to say much,
they're gonna come to you. What did you say, Larry?
They don't really come to me like that. They don't really come to me like that. But
what have you seen?
I've seen it all.
These women bold and out of control.
But I don't know. It's a dynamic that what I'm learning is the more you can get toward your purpose, what you're destined to do, the more in alignment someone's gonna be. Right?
Yes.
You don't want to be heading this way and you looking for somebody all the way over there.
Right.
That you don't got no business. Like I'm at a point in life, I'm not hollering at nobody in the club. Because I just don't want, that's just not even where I'm trending at.
You're gonna get the same result.
Yeah, like I'm just not gonna, I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with it, but just me.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, on the journey, on the way, that's usually where it is. And let me, because we're talking about wholeness now.
We talking about wholeness, being made whole.
A lot of times, my friends who are female, they'll tell me about they're dating somebody new, things of that nature. And you know what I'll say? My first question is always, what church should they go to?
Come on.
And sometimes they'll have a church, sometimes they won't. So then I'm like, okay, they don't go to church like that. What's their spiritual life like? What's their relationship with God?
Yeah.
That's the real question I want to get to. Because that is the number one. If you're looking for a man that's whole, that's after God, that's the first thing you want to ask. Okay.
First thing you want to ask.
And we're not fixing nobody either.
Right. Right.
So I don't want to hear I don't want to hear nothing about no church hurt. I don't want to hear nothing about I'm on sabbatical. Or, I go out in nature, bruh.
I go out in nature.
Yeah. Oh no, most people taking their walks and stuff.
Right. That's their meditation time with the Lord.
Listen.
You better assembly yourself.
Right.
Okay. Come into fellowship.
And I know, and I'm sorry, God, I'm not spilling the beans, but I just gotta say this for the folks.
It's true though.
I don't care what you say. If they don't have that relationship, and here's what I tell them to look for. Figure out who they're serving. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't go to church every Sunday, but on the second and fourth Sunday, you usher. You can work with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, hey.
Right.
I work on Sundays, but I'll zoom in on Sundays and I'll go on Wednesday night. Work with it. Right? But if they got something that they can go to, and for me, even more points if they're serving somewhere in the body.
Yes.
Yeah. That's number one. And usually I ain't going 50% of the time. It's already time to cut it off. Like when I'm talking to my friends about this.
That's true. And I think it goes both ways because I hear a lot from men and women. Men say it's no good women out here. That's what some men say. It's no good women out here. They all the same. They all this. They this. But when you but most men, I notice, they want a godly woman. They want a godly woman, but we want a godly man. Because how can two walk together except they be agreed? And so that means on one accord. That don't mean we're the same type of person or we're the same we do the same things or have the same hobbies. That means our values and what we believe in, they should definitely line up. But what I see nowadays is some people don't want to do the work.
Right.
They want to come with the baggage and the church hurt and what this pastor did to me and what that person did to me. But at the end of the day, you got to work out your own soul salvation with fear and trembling. And that is how you become whole. You recognize where you need to get it together at, because your life is, yes, you've been hurt. Hurt is, you've been in a relationship. You know the heartache and all of the things that you've gone through, but also you can't stay there.
You can't stay there.
And I call it having a bounce back spirit. Having a bounce back spirit, because the longer you stay in that place of disappointment, the longer you'll judge everything. And your life begins to go in a down spiral. And then guess what? You might want something or desire something, but you have not dealt with the root of a thing in order to rise up above your situation.
Absolutely. Hey, that's so good.
It's crazy. Thank you, Cicely.
What's up? That's my best friend right there.
All right. Thank you for joining.
When I think about the whole piece, and I was thinking about what we talked about, what makes a man whole is the decisions. Okay, now I'm not a preacher, but let's just go there a little bit.
Are you serious?
Let's go there just a little bit. So, blind Bartimaeus, right? Had an issue for 30 years. And most of us have probably had something we've been dealing with for a long period of time.
Definitely.
It could be alcoholism, whatever, drugs, sex, pride, ego, whatever, some childhood wounding. And Jesus comes to him and asks him, will I be made whole?
Woo!
Right?
Come on.
And so what does that mean? So that means Jesus is saying you have a say in that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
Like you can finger point,
Mm-hmm.
but when you get finished, you gotta say.
You gotta say.
You know, and how this is gonna end up. And so Jesus even goes into the next phase and says, how about this? Why don't you just get up and walk? Right? Let me start you off. Let me give you a good idea. Just get up and walk.
Get up and walk.
Right? Take your bed up and walk.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You hurt, take that. You know, you've been wounded, take that.
Come on.
You've been heartbroken, take that. And walk.
And walk.
Right? And so
good.
You can decide. And so how you know somebody is whole is through their decision making.
Come on.
Because I don't know what's on this. You don't know if I'm whole or not.
Listen.
But you can look at my decisions.
Yes.
Right? And so whether it be if it becomes in a dating sense or if it becomes in a business partnership sense, I'm looking for the decisions you make on where you're going,
yes,
what you're watching, what you're listening to, all those things.
Wow.
That's telling me about you,
mm-hmm.
right? And your wholeness.
You
know.
That's so good. Right now, I am listening to this guy named Jimmy Evans.
Okay.
And him, you know who I'm talking about? Caucasian guy.
Okay.
Him and his wife been married 43 years. And when I say they are running it down,
okay,
as it relates to life, marriage, dating, blended families. I mean, they got all kind of perspective on life and being made whole in relationships. And so, as you stated, the decisions that you make, what you're watching, even what you're eating, who you're around, it's based off your decision and of becoming whole. Because if you're, what you call that thing, feeding yourself junk, guess what? You're a junkie.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna be a junkie.
If you date somebody and every weekend they gotta be at the strip club, you got to know. Like a lot of times we be doing all the most, trying to figure out, man, if somebody into me. He's telling you. Or he's at least telling you where he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It don't take much. Like men, we a lot of ways we're very simple.
That's what I've heard.
In a lot of ways.
What is the disconnect between men and women you see nowadays? And then we're gonna switch the topic.
Okay. Disconnect. The disconnect is the connection.
Plain and simple. You heard it from here. Larry Brown Jr. has solved the war against Venus and Mars.
You know what I'm saying? Like, disconnect is that we listen to too many people.
Yes.
It's too many talking heads. It's so many gurus out there. Yeah. Every time I look up on Instagram, somebody got a new hack or a new tip or a new angle.
Right.
And it's like,
but they're not doing, it's nothing new because they're recycling it from somebody else.
Absolutely.
It's recycled information. It's not authentic. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're good.
But the truth can only be found in the Word of God.
That's the only thing that's true.
That's the only thing that's true. You can read other books, self-help books. I have a collection here. I have some in my room. I got some in that cabinet down there.
Yeah.
And they are tools.
Oh, yeah.
They are tools to help make me a whole person. But at the end of the day, I have to be real with myself and say, I got to apply it. Because you can read Gandhi, Gandhi, right?
You can read all the books.
You can read all the books. Rich man, poor man. Listen, you still poor. If you don't apply the principles.
Right. If you don't apply the principles, it's a problem.
If it don't fit, you must have quit.
I heard my pastor, he said something about the Word of God being the only thing that's true. He said people can say things that are truthfully stated, but the only thing that's true, truthfully stated and true ain't the same thing.
Yeah.
right? Lazarus' sisters thought their brother was dead. They truthfully felt like if you would have been here, Jesus, my brother wouldn't have died.
This wouldn't have happened.
Right? But what did Jesus tell them, right? Hey, I told y'all he was asleep. That was true.
Ooh.
You know? So, truthfully stated and true is two different things.
Wow.
For all them people out there that talking about speaking my truth, keep speaking the truth, but just know, I'm just saying, I came to help today.
Come on, help, Doc.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That is what's up. Well, I do appreciate the sacrifice today.
Oh, yeah.
It's snowing in Chicago. Listen, we got inches, okay?
Yeah.
Not inches on the head tip. We not bobbing it out here. It's snowing here.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate you taking the time to come out to help our sisters and our brothers to know what it looks like in becoming whole as a male. In our final thought, share something with our audience that they can take away. I call it a faith nugget that they can take away from today's show.
A faith nugget you can take away. Well, that's a big question right there.
I love how Larry thinks about what he's gonna say before he said it. The Bible says that be quick to listen and slow to speak.
Faith.
Some of you would tell your younger self.
Do everything by faith. Do everything by faith. What does that mean? That means when you speak, try to speak as much faith as possible.
Oh, wow. So good.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean speak faith? The word is faith. So making sure that what you're saying is in alignment with the word. I think that, and I'm gonna get to this, maybe you are too, is sometimes we pray for things and we believe for them, but somewhere down the line we ended up saying something that kind of went against the thing we was actually praying for.
Wow.
You know what I mean? You might have been praying for a new job and you were like, man, I believe I received it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody called you like, hey, did you get the new job yet? And because you don't see it, you're like, well, no, I didn't, but no, you got it. Right?
You got it, right.
And when somebody, when you, your faith is going to go through a test, right? And the test is always going to be with what you're saying. Right? But even don't worry about the actions. Somebody's going to try you based on what you say.
Yes.
Right? So you saying, you know what? I'm believing, my faith, I'm going to have a new house by the end of the year. Yeah. Right? Somebody's going to come along and challenge that.
Definitely.
Right? Somebody's going to come along and challenge that. And it's going to require your mouth. So
what you're speaking.
Yeah. So you gotta just if I had to say one thing, like as a takeaway, is start examining what you're saying. Start examining what you're saying.
Start examining what you said. Now, Larry, I need you to look toward this camera right quick because I had something in play before you came, and I meant to bring it up here sooner.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. So Larry plays a guitar, right?
Yes.
Guitar, bass. What kind of? All of them. Saxophone.
I don't do saxophone.
You don't do saxophone? Why? I thought you had a saxophone at the little showcase.
I just look like I play saxophone.
Trumpet? No trumpet? No wind.
No wind.
Well, I've been practicing all night.
Oh my God. Get fiddle, y'all.
I said, well, Larry, come on the show. I'm gonna be ready. Okay. Y'all didn't know? I'm taking lessons.
Oh my God.
Well, this has been another episode of Faith Speaks. I appreciate my special guest, Larry Brown Jr. You can follow him on his social media platforms. Mm-hmm. Give us that Instagram.
_I am LBJ.
I am LBJ. Facebook, Larry Brown Jr.
I'm the only one, hopefully.
Okay. And then you have some events coming up.
Tomorrow night, for those of you in Chicago, I'll be at Winners Jazz Club. Okay. Look up the address online because I don't know right now. But I'll be there with Chicago Soul Jazz Collective.
Okay.
We'll be there.
Them brothers is bad.
Let's see. And I'm there pretty frequently. I'm there the first Wednesday of every month. Been there all year. But if you catch me on Wednesday night, you'll be there for sure. And if you connect with me via IG, I will shoot you some more dates and add you to my mailing list.
That is what's up. Well, guys, this has been another great, amazing show. I have been your host, Faith Haygood, and my motto is just a little bit of faith.
I love it.
It's all you need. We'll see you next time with more guests, more opportunities. And check it out. If you'd like to be a guest on my show, I need you to email me at faithspeak17@gmail.com. That's faithspeak17@gmail.com. We'll see you soon. Peace out and have a great night.
Peace.
Can be made whole. You can be made whole.